Okay, so this is a experiment. Welcome. I don't need as much space today because we will not be standing. We will not be doing sun salutations. Maybe we'll take a little restorative moment. We can add in, let's see where we go with it. So we are continuing our exploration with the live streaming situation here. And I want to try to teach live stream Kundalini yoga, which I think is going to be the most challenging because it's a very challenging practice. I've watched a lot of YouTube people who do the teachings live, and it's full power, very energetic. The downside is that I can't really play any music, and I would recommend for you, and what I'll do afterwards is I'll put a playlist. I'll start to recommend the playlist from my Spotify, and you can, put that music on in the background. I find that the music is very helpful to listen to the mantras, to have that sound current moving in the practice. So again, that's making it a little bit challenging for me because I can't listen to the music as I'm also practicing. Anyhow, it's my own process. I welcome you here. I just need to grab my water because I feel my throat is a little and so ideally, as you can see on my page, right, we have like the cultural commentary from a yogic perspective, which is this. And then we have yin yoga practices, some vinyasa practices, traditional hatha practices, Kundalini yoga practices, and why so many types of yoga. As a woman, speaking from, right, a woman who is connected to her cycle, who is connected to the lunar cycle, because of that, it is very inherent. The recommendation is to move throughout the month in a way that supports your hormonal system. And, when you're working with a hormonal system, it's a slow, long process. So if anyone is working to balance their hormones or, right, get into the endocrine system, it's not going to just happen overnight. But for those of us who have been working in this way for, say, over 10 years, 15 years, maybe even 20 years in some cases, learning how to adjust your physical practices in relation to your personal cycle, you will see the benefits when you arrive to that moment in life, as I have arrived or I am beginning to arrive, and I see and feel the benefits of how I've cultivated this practice. So this is a big learning, a big teaching. Maybe this is what we're going to dive into this week, or maybe it gets a little more clear in the weeks ahead. Let's see. If you do have questions, let me know. I also know there's a lot of men that do watch this channel and do practice with me. And I think that this is just as important for men as it is for women. I know someone who is an endocrinologist that works in the field of bioidentical hormones and issuing those not just for women, but also for men. And also seeing in relationship, right? When you're in a partnership and both partners are going through these different hormonal changes, right? Each one needs the support to be able to find the appropriate balance. So I believe that men can also find that through this powerful system of yoga, but it's going to be deeply personal for you and how you flow through things. The man is the sun, so man can be much more steady. You could do Ashtanga yoga, your whole life. And I think for some women, looking just at like Ashtanga yoga, it's not always the best practice for a woman to do Ashtanga yoga throughout her whole cycle. And you find a lot of women that have devoted themselves to that path will have on occasion, right, certain issues with their reproductive system. They'll lose their periods will get shorter, right? These types of disruptions begin to happen. Okay, welcome. I'm going to move closer because I, of course, can't see from way back there. Okay, this is a page, DDP, Diamond Dallas page, and many, many rave about yoga now as they have aged and got to know it more. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, the thing with yoga is that, thank you for sharing that. The thing about it is it's so easy to write off, because it's so common and it's so projected through, these ways that we get sick of seeing it, like these perfect, postures and like beautiful people in these grand settings. And it just gets like a little cliche, and we overlook the system that it actually is, right? We overlook those benefits because this is just the trick of the mind, the trick of the psyche. So that's wonderful. And I've also watched a bit of like Andrew Huberman, who's like the science biologist guy. And I went into one of his podcasts about the polyvagal theory, right? And ultimately, at the end, it was so satisfying because he's like, yeah, the yogis are right. It actually does help if you do pranayama, if you do these forms of meditation. Like there is a scientific correlation between these practices and what is actually happening in the system. So it's wonderful that we can receive that in all different areas of life and the internet. And, with any of these practices, you are finding your way with it. So I can share what has been helpful for me, and you take that information and you put it through your system and you find the truth of what is actually helpful for you, what is actually beneficial for you. With something like yoga, meditation, we're working on the subtle body. My only caveat would be don't have a conviction after just one practice, especially if you feel like, oh, it's not the right fit, because it could be that you just need to pivot, or you're going through some type of cleaning process, so you're facing that resistance. Yoga is a slower path. Kundalini yoga is more of a faster yogic path, but I would say it still requires a bit of consistency and showing up, right? Like no big wins are going to happen immediately overnight just because you sit down and finally meditate, right? So we're going to try it today. Welcome to this practice. We're going to go through some very gentle, what we would call warm-up type of kriyas. I'm going to come in close again. I got to work it out. So I have a computer at my mat and also here, because I really appreciate it. Andrew Huberman is great. There's science behind some body practices that I have been greatly informed about many subjects from him. Yes. Yeah. He has like such good information, like detailed. I definitely feel smarter when I listen to one of his podcasts, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so we are going to practice Kundalini yoga. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come into a tall seat, and we are going to tune in. You can start by closing your eyes. Thank you for being here. Dropping into the breath and just feeling the breath, a deeper inhale and an exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring the hands together at your heart and rub the palms, create this heat. Bring the prayer into the center of the chest. And you can even open your eyes here and see that my elbows are in alignment. The fingers are straight up towards the sky. My shoulders are dropping down behind the heart. Think of this alignment as a very sacred alignment. Tall spine, root through the sits bones. Bring your inner gaze into your third eye. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Stay here as you're inhaling and exhaling. What we're about to do is tune in to what they say in the tradition is the golden chain of masters. This can be from within the Kundalini tradition if you are a purist. And if you're feeling uncertain about the tradition of Kundalini yoga, tune into your guides, your masters, all of the great teachers, the great wisdom keepers that have brought you here into this moment. Curious, seeking, open, available. Breathe in and breathe out. And we're going to tune in with the mantra Ong, O-N-G, Ong Namo, Gurudev Namo, 3 times. Breathing in. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deep. Hold the breath, press the palms, squeeze the mulaband, lift from the base of the spine, bringing the energy up the spine. Exhale and release and welcome and Satnam. Thank you so much for being here. A little bit about this practice in case it is new for you. And always with the practices of yoga, be it Kundalini yoga, traditional Hatha yoga, there's going to be a lot of information, and where this information comes from, it depends on the teachers that came before the teacher who is teaching you. And so there may be moments where you feel like you're hearing maybe 2 different ways about one thing. So we just want to keep an open mind and try to find, again, what works for us. And if we come across a teacher that corrects us, right, that says, no, actually, it's supposed to be like this, that is for you to decide how to really integrate that information. And are you following that specific teacher? What I found in these esoteric teachings, esoteric practices, is that certain teachings are given in certain time periods on the planet where it makes sense for that time period. It makes sense for even that student to have received that teaching. And that teaching might be eternal to some degree. And also that teaching might actually shift with the ages as we move through these different ages on the planet. So the Kundalini yoga that I know, we are working on a few different things. We're working on the breath, inhaling and exhaling a strong, powerful breath. We're working internally with the mantra of Sat Nam, which means I am that, I am truth. You could also work with Wahe Guru. I find Sat Nam to be a little bit easier because of the syllable aspect of it. It's easier to put it into the breath. And we are working with a very clear intention, right? Movement of the body, movement of the mind, movement of the breath. And this clarity, this intention, this is going to create momentum. It's going to create vibration. It's going to create a bigger experience than if I'm just sitting here doing any one of those 3 aspects. And that in itself is what creates the Kriya, where each individual part is powerful on its own, but now we're bringing it all together in this one time space continuum moment, and it's going to create a more powerful frequency. And this is why people have very powerful reactions to Kundalini yoga. And they either have the reaction of like, this is the most amazing thing ever, and this is not the thing that I want to be doing at all right now. And this could be the case that it's not the practice for you right now. I definitely had that when I was much younger. It was not the right frequency. And then, right, lo and behold, many moons later, it suddenly clicked, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so we are going to come into the Kundalini yoga style cat-cow, and we're going to do this for 3 whole minutes. Hands and knees as you would for your normal cat-cow. And the only difference now is that I'm bringing the edges of my feet are just going to touch very gently. My knees are under my hips, my wrists are still under my shoulders, and it's the same breath as we do in our Hatha yoga. So we're inhaling to arch, exhale round. Inhaling to arch, exhale round. So first just find that. And it can be, a little bit slow like we do. Now, as you're inhaling and as you're exhaling, I want you to start to weave in this mantra. As you inhale, mentally vibrate Sat. As you exhale, mentally vibrate Nam. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. And I want you to continue. Eyes are closed. You're gazing at your third eye. And we're about a minute in. I'm going to ask you to go a little bit quicker. And you're going to find your particular rhythm. Let the breath be powerful for you. Your movement might be slower, but let the breath be powerful. Try to go a little bit quicker than what you're used to if this is new for you. Keep going. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. Keeping with your rhythm now. Keep going. Inhale, arch the spine, hold the breath. Exhale, round the spine. Press the breath out, squeeze the mula bandha, squeeze the base of the spine, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release back into a child's pose now. Bring your arms out in front of you and press the palms together. Guru Pranam. Bringing the right and left
sides of the brain, the hemispheres of the brain into union. Mentally vibrating Sat as you inhale and Nam on the exhale. Slowly walking the hands in to come up. And we will come back into an easy seat. If you need a little bit of padding for your seat, feel free to set that up. Okay. And it's good in between each Kriya to just take a moment and feel what you feel. They say that 3 minutes of cat-cow completely resets your system. It impacts all of the 10 bodies, all of the 7 known central chakras, helps the hemispheres of the brain come into union, which means we're moving into a more neutral point and less polarity. Breathe in and breathe out. What I love about Kundalini Yoga is that you are consciously working on your aura. You're working on the energy field that surrounds your physical body. So not just internally with the spirit and the mechanisms of the mind and all of that. Yes, that is included here. But we're really working to strengthen our projection, to strengthen our magnetic field so that we feel a sense of protection and a sense of inner and outer guidance, as well as radiance and confidence and all of these things that are so helpful in the time and the age that we live in. So now we will work on the ego eradicator. We're going to curl the finger pads into the palms. Bring the thumb tips to touch above the head, and then open to what we call a 90-degree angle. And at certain points, you're going to feel your arms fall down. I will probably have a little bit of that, but we're really trying to keep it right about here. Close the eyes, gaze at the third eye, and begin breath of fire. Breath of fire is an equal inhale, equal exhale, and you're chanting Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Keep going, stay tall in your spine, re-extend the arms, bring the focus above the crown of the head, the 10th gate. This is to purify this channel where everything is downloaded into the subconscious. Chant the mantra there, Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Keep going.
Last 30 seconds, don't give up. If you can give it a little more energy, give it a little more energy, a little more devotion. Inhale deep, bring the tips of the thumbs to touch and reach your fingers to the sky. Hold the breath. Stretch up, squeeze the mulaband. Bring the energy up the spine, out into the cosmos. Exhale, open the arms, swipe the aura. Slowly, slowly as you breathe out, bring your fingers to touch the earth, make contact with the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a moment to meditate. You can bring your hands onto your lap. You can bring the hands into Gyan Mudra. Noticing the subtle shifts in frequency and energy. Breathing in Sat, exhaling Nam. Keep the inner vibration, this inner mantra. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, we'll do some spinal flex. I'm going to remove the padding. It's personal, but for me, I want my seat really on the ground. And we are going to take our fingers are in the front of this shin, right? And then my thumbs are just on the calf, like the flesh of the calf. So it's a pretty easy grip, but we do have all of these meridian points in our body, right? So every time we're touching and making contact is very intentional. So I'm going to hold the front of the shin here. The thumbs are on the calf. And I'm just inhaling my spine forward. I'm exhaling back. I am trying to keep my chin relatively even as opposed to opening and closing the throat. We're just pretty simple. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. And again, you're moving at your pace here. A powerful movement and a powerful breath for you. You determine that. Now, if you can begin to go a little bit quicker, you can explore the pacing. Eyes are closed. You're gazing at your third eye, chanting the mantra into the third eye, into the pineal, into the pituitary gland. Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. Inhale, come up tall through the spine. Hold the breath, squeeze the mulaband. And exhale, release. Take a moment here to meditate.
Inhaling Sat, exhaling Nam. Very good. So just taking that time to notice how I feel, what it creates within my body, within my system. What do I feel connected to? Do I feel inspired? Do I feel happy, joyful? All of these things. Do I feel the challenge? Am I annoyed? Am I triggered? These things count too. It's all part of the process. Okay, we are going to inhale through center, and I'm going to turn to my left as I exhale and bow my nose towards my knee. Inhale through center, exhale over to the right. Inhale center, exhale left. Inhale center, exhale right. Inhaling Sat, exhale Nam. Inhale Sat, exhale Nam. Close the eyes and find your rhythm. Legs are relaxed. We're not flexing the feet at all. And you're just stretching to your capacity. And you'll notice, right, what is stiff, what is challenging. And you'll start to, after a minute or so, notice how it begins to shift. Last 30 seconds. Inhale up through center, big breath in, hold the breath. Squeeze the mulaband, consolidate your energy, consolidate your chakras, consolidate your vision. Exhale to release. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's slowly come down onto our backs to just take a bit of a rest now. You can use any props to support you here if you need them. And we're just going to come down, relax into this Shavasana. And just feel what you feel. Some energy moving through you. Relax into the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. Hug your knees into your belly. Bring the soles of the feet together and the palms together and rub here. Create this little heat through both channels. Very good. You can take your left leg long and hug the right leg in. Coming over for a little cat stretch. We don't stay here for too long. And take it to the other side. I personally always want these stretches a little bit slower, a little bit longer, but for some reason in this tradition, they go pretty quick with it. And we're going to come all the way back up. So rocking and rolling or rolling over to one side. Okay, coming into this tall seat. We won't be doing any specific meditation today because, like I said, I'm working it out. And a lot of the meditations require music, so we need to figure out how to do that. All right, let's bring the hands together. Create that heat, create that sacred fire, and bring that fire right into the center of your heart. Feel your alignment, feel your divinity, feel your radiance, your peace, your prosperity, your aura, big, bright, shiny, powerful, and fierce, magnetic field protecting you, drawing in all that is positive, all that is supportive, and keeping out all that is negative and destructive. We'll close with one long sat and a short nam. Breathing in. Sat Nam. Sat Nam, many, many blessings to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for contributing to the conversation. Wishing you a beautiful and blessed day. And as always, let me know if you have questions, thoughts, disagreements. Put them in the comments and let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if this is helpful. I was thinking to maybe do a live just about the different types of yoga so that we have more of an understanding. We can ask questions, answer questions about these different paths, and of course, anything, especially with Kundalini yoga, right? There's like so much lore and drama and intrigue, that comes with this package. And why, right? Why some people still choose to practice it and why some people are choosing not to practice it. So we can get into all of that if and when. All right. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Hope to see you again soon. And thank you.